there are these commercials where they're for the Army, and they show like these Army dudes coming back to like they're in society now, and it's like they'll show like one on a fire truck where it's like a guy driving the fire truck, and he's like, being on the fire truck, being a fireman, you start to got to be able to rely on each other. You're going to be on the fire truck, you got to rely on each other. To the new guy, and then the new guy and they look at him, and then all of a sudden he has these flashbacks to when he was in the Army, and then and the guy will say, you know what I mean, and then he's thinking about all the times that he learned how to be part of a team in the Army, and then he goes, yeah, I know what you mean. So it's trying to show how these people, how the Army's training them to be to work as like a fireman. And there's one in it, though, in these Army commercials, where you see these civilians sitting around. And you can kind of, civilians, it's almost code word for ingrates. And they're sitting around, and they're literally in the commercial talking about like video games. Like all they do is play video games all day. Like you hear their chit chat like, high score, joystick, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you see the Army guy walk in, and it's like, he's their buddy. He's back. And it's like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? He's got his hat cocked just right, and he's back, and he's like, he's looking through his buddies. He's looking at them like they're human garbage now, at his friends. And they're like, so how's it going, man? Like these losers, these total losers sitting there. They're just painting civilians like absolute street trash and garbage. So how's it going, man? You jumping out of planes or stuff? And then, he goes, no, I was learning computers. And then they're like, computers? Couldn't you have done that here? And then all of a sudden it cuts to the flashbacks. Like these guys are like, it's kind of scary almost if these Army guys are having all these flashbacks. All of a sudden, like they're like, buddy, you're back here in society. We can't have you having these weird military flashbacks. So he has all these flashbacks to where it's like, come on, Andy, coming in, blah, 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 and he's like typing real fast. He's in a tent with computers, blah, 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 and then, and he goes, because the one guy asked, couldn't you have done that here? And he goes, nah, I couldn't have. Again, looking right through his friend, like his friend is just this, like, how dare you waste, I'm superior, I'm defending you over there, you worthless hunk of garbage. Like, what is that? What is the selling point of this? Like, do you have a superior streak running through you, and you just want a psychological bat that you can beat your friends over the head with? Join the Army. And again, I will say it, I'm terrified if these Army guys are having flashbacks like that. If a guy's hired to be a fireman, how about you think about that fire you're going to put out? Don't think about jumping out of a helicopter. Oh my God, the building's falling down. There's firemen trapped inside. Why is that? Oh yeah, the Army guy's back in the fire engine. He's thinking about other stuff. He's kind of not concerned about the fire right now. And when I say this, of course, I'm not making fun of our brave military men who are defending America each and every day. I'm criticizing the Army's marketing campaign. What do you think you're doing? Trying to hook people. That's not working. You're just going to have a group of jerks in the Army then. Because, like I want... I kind of hate my friends, and maybe I'll join the Army, because that way I can just have one more thing over them. 201-209-9368. What if one of these Army guys is working on a job, and then he's like, all of a sudden the guy's like, we need you to be attentive on this job. Like, that's the buzzword, attentive. And then all of a sudden the guy starts flashing back to some incident, and then all of a sudden you realize that he's not being attentive. He's like, can you be attentive? And he starts flashing back to something, and he's like, yeah, I can be attentive. It's like, well, no, you can't. You just zoned out on me when I was asking you to be attentive. You couldn't even pay attention enough to have a conversation about being attentive. How can I expect you to be attentive when we're not talking about it? Oh, Army. The Friends of Tom logo contest in full effect. It's going to end in a week or so. I want your logos. Basically, the show needs a logo. I need you to, if you want to design it, it's a contest. We've got a lot of great entries up at friendsoftom.com. You can check them out. But we are not done yet. Get in on the running. Design a logo. The criteria, it should be menacing, yet authoritative and funny. Kind of like it's a good logo I saw today, the Sherwin-Williams logo, where it's a globe with a giant can of paint pouring onto the planet. That's a great logo. If you haven't submitted yet, don't be afraid to think of that. Think of, the Sherwin-Williams logo. That's a logo. I was admiring that today. Just the pomposity of the people over at Sherwin-Williams, taking Earth and pouring red paint on the planet.